YTBC, what's the deal? Now, first, let me give a shout out to Rick Rock Boxing Talk. Rick Rock Boxing Talk. Go to his channel, please subscribe. I seen an interview this morning on his page that he had with Lateef Kayode. Coyote's 21-1. You probably remember him. Luis Ortiz beat him, and then after the fight, some months later, Luis Ortiz failed a drug test. He had a draw with Antonio Tarver, and Tarver ended up he failed a urinalysis, a pre-fight urinalysis test for steroids. And then he just lost to Denis Lebedev. All these fights are on YouTube. You can watch them. It's funny because all those guys are southpaws. Like, he's always having trouble with southpaws. And he has another fight on YouTube that I've watched against a guy named Jonte Willis that was on Friday Night Fights. But right now, Lateef Kayode, I'd like to see him fight at heavyweight. Now, we know he likes to dip down to cruiserweight. He'll go both. When he comes to heavyweight, I mean, he's a solid 220, about 6'2", with a, I believe, almost an 80-inch reach. I don't have it in front of me, but I like to see him, in there with some of these heavyweights, man. And because I know he's in his 30s, and I don't know if he wants to keep going down to cruiserweight. He did fight Denis Lebedev. He tried to win a title, and he got stopped. Steve Smoger was reffing that fight. It's funny watching Steve Smoger stop fights when guys are on their feet, because usually Smoger lets you fight until you're out flat on your back. But he went down a few times in that Lebedev fight. One of them was a push, clearly, but he got hurt with the right hand first. But just listen to the interview. He's getting Gerald Washington ready for his scrap in a few weeks here against Oscar Rivas. Kayode also went on to say that he changed trainers. He is not with Freddie Roach anymore. He doesn't have any problems with Freddie, but he said Freddie only really got to work with him 1 or 2 times a week. Really didn't tell him much as he wants in his career at this point in his career. So he's with a new trainer. They're correcting him. They're more hands-on with him. They're telling him what to do exactly. They're at the gym with him when he's training, when he's sparring, and they're telling him what to do. We know Freddie has a lot of clients, man. He's a high-profile trainer, and we know how it is for these high-profile guys. They usually work with the high-profile athletes. That's their priority. I'm not saying Kayode's not a good fighter to pay attention to and be hands-on with as a trainer, but when you have guys like Pacquiao and Cotto and all these guys that Freddie Roach works with, it's kind of hard for a guy like Kayode to get that attention that he really needs. So I'm glad that he's with a trainer that's going to give him all he needs. Now, if he wants to dip down to cruiser and get some fights here in America or around the world, I like to see him in there with some of these other guys. Keith Tapia be a good fight. The kid out of New York, Michael Hunter Jr. out of Vegas, that'd be a good fight. If he wants to go overseas, Alexander Usyk, Marius Briedis, all those be a good fights at cruiser. Now, at heavyweight, I like to see him on one of these PBC cards, man. Maybe a Travis Kaufman or Fred Cassie or Adam Konaski, Trevor Bryan, Gerald Miller, Andy Ruiz Jr. That'd be good test for him. So good to see this guy still around, and I think he can give some of these prospects, a run for their money. I don't know how Kayode would do against some of the top 10 contenders, but I do think he's a guy that can test not only a prospect but test himself to see what he got left. And maybe if he gets a string of wins over a few prospects or a few French contender type guys, he can work his way into some type of contention, probably getting one of these sanctioned bodies, top 10, maybe the WBA. But Kayode for a time was a top 10, top 8 cruiserweight for a few years. So he's no cupcake now, but little smaller as far as the heavyweight, but 6'2", 220. Shit, man, that's that's nice size. He comes in shape, a muscular guy. Now, in this Jonte Willis fight, I remember Teddy Atlas was talking about Kayode was telling those guys that Kayode thinks that he was losing his power going down to cruiserweight. So I don't know if he still feels that same way because he just fought at cruiserweight. So I don't know if he still has that same feeling, But if he feels he's losing his power at cruiser, but his speed is better, I would like him to go up to stay at heavyweight. Like I said, give some of these other guys, I like to see him in there with Andy Ruiz Jr. That'd be a good fight. Him and Ruiz, or like I said, Trevor Bryan, some of these other guys. But just want to get that out there. I will leave the link to the article in my description box, to Rick Rock Boxing Talks page, and you can go there and check the interview out for yourself. I want to see Lateef Kayode, I want to see him stay at heavyweight, man, because I'm a heavyweight guy. So I want to see him stay at heavyweight and get in there with some of these prospects, man. Maybe he can pull out a victory. YTBC. I'm out.